Okay, let's put the PowerPoint back a bit. Back a bit. Okay. Welcome everyone. Myself. Hello everyone. Can you drop a comment to let me know if you're watching? Hi, good to see you all. Drop a comment please to let me know you're here. Hi Sheena. Hi Saba, I see you there. That's great. Sheena, I just bought your books today. They just came through, Sheena. All 3 of them. So I'm very excited to using them with my daughter. So Sheena's books, I've had amazing reviews about them, Sheena. So I look forward to using them so that I can give my own feedback as well. Okay, people watching, drop a comment to let me know. Sorry. Yeah. Let me know that you're here. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so Saba, can you let me know if you want me to give you a few more minutes before I start, or should I get started straight away into it? So I'm checking here for updates. I'm sure I will like them, Sheena. I'm sure I will like those books. Okay. So Saba, if you want to give me the go ahead to start, or I don't know if we tend to wait a little bit for people to join. Okay. So, okay, Saba, we're going to get started. Okay, it's good to see you all. Thank you for coming to this live session. And thank you to Saba for inviting me to speak to all of you today. It's been a very busy day. I've had booked calls all morning. I've had teaching sessions. I literally just had my brunch really quickly, then jumped on this one. So hopefully after this session, I'll be able to relax for the day. So let me see if I can make this into a slideshow. So slideshow, play from the start. Okay, can you let me know if you can see my PowerPoint, please? Let me know if you can see my PowerPoint. There's a slight lag. Oh, thank you, Sheena, for sharing in your group. Thank you. There's a slight lag between Zoom and Facebook. So when you send comments in, I don't see them straight away. In fact, I'm having to constantly refresh the page to check for updates. So we're going to be talking about cultivating good habits for 11 plus prep today. My name is Tutu Akinyede. I'm the principal at Tecnis Academy. There's my email at the bottom. You might want to note that down, just in case you needed to talk to me after this presentation. So there's my email, make a note of it. So we're going to get started. So Saba, the 11 plus journey. So Saba got in touch with me, but I joined the group first of all, and I was quite intrigued at what she was doing with the group. Thank you so much, Saba, for inviting me to do this presentation. Saba's running this amazing platform for free and putting all of our work into it. I know similar platforms charge, and majority of the work Saba's doing is free. It's literally free. It's hardly anything she's charging for. And she's helping other people to help their children through the 11 plus journey. She has 2 boys of her own, 14 and 16, who have been through this process. So thank you, Saba, for all the good work you do. If you can put in the comment section, just say thank you, Saba. Let's just appreciate what she's doing here. The platform has got almost 11,000 members in the group. You know, that's amazing. And that's dedication. If a group is growing, you know, if it has big numbers, it's because someone is doing the work. Big numbers don't just happen like that. It's hard work. So well done, Saba. Okay, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to talk about myself. So before I start giving you any advice today, so you have a little bit about me, my background. So I qualified as a maths teacher 11 years ago. I worked in a secondary school for that time. 3 years ago, I came out of full-time teaching because I wanted to concentrate on my tuition school that I am running. So I worked part-time in my school still for the last 3 years because they just didn't want me to go. So I stayed there for the last 3 years working part-time, but I left finally just before lockdown started, February last year. My first big encounter with tutoring was in my NQT year. So for those who don't know what NQT means, it's newly qualified teacher. So even after you've qualified, you still spend a year, as a new teacher, and you still have to pass that year. So a family friend brought her daughter to me. She was in year 11 at the time, and we're talking 11 years ago now. So the young lady is an adult now. So she was predicted a grade E for her maths. This was when at secondary school, they used to use, the grading system used to be letters. So the school was saying, listen, the highest you can get is a grade E. Don't even try and do any more. The highest you can possibly get is a grade E. So I tutored her. It was only 3 months before her exam, and she came out with an A. So I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. This is like, you know, so that's how I started. That's how my tutoring journey started. So the tutoring school that I run, we now cater for almost 600 students, and we're doing it all online. Before COVID, we were running these sessions across 4 different centers in Kent. But now we've moved all of our sessions online. I have a team of 8 handpicked, fantastic, excellent teachers who work alongside me. So we have classes running from primary year R to year 6 and secondary year 7 to year 13. We offer tuition in maths, English, sciences, SATs prep, 11 plus prep, GCSE, A levels. We do some other things on the side, but you know, other little courses as well, but these ones are the main things that we do. Okay, right, so that's my background. Okay, and we'll move on. Okay, so there's nothing new here. Things I'm going to share today. If you see me looking away, it's because I'm trying to check on the live on Facebook. If you see me looking away, I'm not ignoring you. Okay, right, so there's nothing new here. I'm not going to share anything new tonight. All right, you probably know and practice most of the things I'm going to suggest here. You probably already do them as parents. However, sometimes it's always good to get affirmation that you are doing the right thing, that you are on the right track. Sometimes when I listen to podcasts or I go for trainings and, you know, they say some of the things, I'm like, I already do that. That's good. Oh yeah, I do that. I feel really good about myself. So some of the things, or majority of the things I'm going to talk about today, you already probably do, but it's just maybe it's like telling you, patting you on the back and saying you are doing the right thing. Every child, parent, family setting is different. So some of these suggestions might apply to you. Some of them might not. So only pick what will work for you, because not everything is going to work for you. So because we have totally different experiences. Okay, can you let me know in the comment section that you are following? Just type in following so I know you're here with me, so I know I'm not just talking to myself, and I do talk to myself a lot. Okay, so if you let me know that you're following, that would be great. And it makes it less awkward. And I know that I'm not just talking to myself. Okay, so I'm hoping Facebook will catch up later. I haven't seen any of your messages yet. Okay, so let's get started. Good habits. Start early. This is going to cause a major controversy for some parents, because some parents don't believe in starting the 11 plus journey early. You know, I've always said this, and I don't hold back when I say start early. This is my opinion, and this is me having done this for so many years, and this is my experience. When you start early, it puts less pressure on the child. And I've intentionally put there, if you can from year 1 or year 2, yes, okay? Feel free to put your opinion in the comment section. Start early. The earlier you start for your child, the better for them, the less pressure you put on them. In fact, your child will be ready by year 4 to write the exam, and there's no pressure. Whereas when you do it and you leave it till the very end, or you leave it till maybe year 5, then, you know, the same child has to get better with their maths, their English, their verbal, their non-verbal reasoning, their creative writing. That's too much pressure. The only thing I'm going to say is you don't have to label it as 11 plus to your child. You don't have to say to your child, oh, we're going to do some work on 11 plus right now. No. You know, they're reading every night. That's you preparing them towards 11 plus. Their timetable, that's you preparing them towards 11 plus. You know, expanding their vocabulary, that's you preparing them for 11 plus. But you have to be intentional from the right beginning and start early. There are age appropriate resources that you can use for your kids. 11 plus resources. Bond is doing them 5 to 6, and they're literally, and they're not even like work that would make your child, oh, you know, get sad. Or there are things like, you know, the verbal reasons. There's things like spotting the difference between 2 pictures. You know, it's actually fun activities for them to do. You know, if at that early age they're starting to do verbal and non-verbal reasoning, they are at a much better position. And I'm going to say, you don't have to label it as 11 plus tutoring. Start your child early. Start them early. Don't leave it till when. Don't stress them. You leaving it till late is actually stressing them. Have a structure in place and follow it. Whatever structure you have in place, make sure you follow. We know as adults how hard it is sometimes to, you know, to stick to a routine and to follow it. You know, a million times you've said you're going to go and exercise, you're going to exercise from Monday to Wednesday, but you probably never do it because, you know, you give up on it. You now need to be conscious of that. And when it comes to your child, preparing your child for 11 plus, have a structure in place, whatever structure that might be, whatever timetable, whatever, how you want to put it, because we all come from different settings, different families. So I can't stand here and say to you, this is how you have to structure your child's learning. Whatever structure you put in place, follow it, because the children are watching. If they know mom doesn't follow up on it, then they wouldn't care either. Spread out the work, so don't overload your child. That goes back to the first bullet point. If you start early, there will be no need to overload your child. There will be no need to have a child who is overwhelmed or upset about their work, because they're used to it from the beginning and it's all spread out and there's no stress. Absolutely no stress. Your child can write the 11 plus exam without any stress. Have a folder to keep their work in place, you know, so that, you know, you can look back to the work that they do. Have a folder where all the work that they do is going. It shouldn't be all over the place where they're looking for it. It's even good for reference. Sometimes when you go back to the work, sometimes maybe when they did the work, they only got a certain percentage, but by the time they do the same work again, so you can compare and contrast. Track their percentages, whatever work they do, especially when they get to the stage where they're starting to do exam paper practice. Track their percentage. Have a spreadsheet. Just open up a spreadsheet and then put on the spreadsheet each time, you know, for their maths, whatever percentage they got, and see with time if they're making progress, and that would help them as well. You know, don't expect them to have a big jump. I mean, some kids that we tutor would start from like 20% on their maths papers, but by the time it's close to the exam, some of them are working on 85%. And they didn't just get there, they didn't just jump from 20% to 85%. It was a gradual process. They went from 25 to 30, and then they got to 40, and they got to 50, and it's gradual. You can see on their tracking sheet how they're getting on each time. And it really does encourage the child as well when they see that they've made progress over the period of time. Okay, let me just check on the chat section to see if people are here and following me. I hope I'm not just talking to myself. Okay, I don't think I can see any comments anymore. Am I still here? Am I still live? Oh, this is so like, let's see. Okay, thank you, Sheena. I've just seen your comment. Thanks for this. Start early, but don't mention any test. You know, yes, Sheena, you don't have to mention the test, but you know you want them to do well. You know you want them to be able to easily do the exam, no pressure, but you don't have to call it 11 plus prep. No one has to know it's 11 plus prep. Okay. Thank you for following Joy, Tahiro. Yes, Mabs, thank you for following. Okay, so we're going to move on. Bond books are good for initial prep. When it gets closer to the exam, you should be using exam papers, okay? When it gets closer to the exam, bond is not so much of what you need for your child. But the initial preparation, bond is amazing. Use Bond Online too. That's another great tool. Bond Online is really good as well. Use exam papers only after you've taught them all the topics, well, majority of the topics. There's no point testing them where the knowledge is not there, you know, test, but yet they don't know the basics. So otherwise the exam practice is just pointless, and it's just stressful, and it just makes them demotivated. All right, so moving on. I've put all these together, not in any particular order. It was just as it was coming to my head, and I thought back about the kids that I've taught in the past, and then I'm taking my child through the process as well. So I'm like, okay, what are the things that I used to do, or what are the things I'm currently doing with my child? What are the things I did with my past students? And those of them that passed their exam, you know, how did it work for them? What did they do? Practice different exam boards. The fact that your child is going to write a geo exam doesn't mean they can't do the CEM papers as well. Actually, in fact, doing different exam boards deepens their understanding, because one exam board might ask one question one way, but then another exam board would ask the same question in a different way. So, you know, use various exam boards. Ensure your child is reading every day. They need to stop. This is important now. They need to stop. Whilst they're reading, they need to stop and find the meanings of unfamiliar words to build their vocabulary. So this is what my daughter does. And I remember trying to instill it into her. And then when she started doing it, I'm like, oh God, she's doing this. So whenever she's reading, she would just literally say, oh, Mom, what does this mean? Oh, Mom, what does that mean? And the ones that I can't give us straight away, I go and check your dictionary. And the ones that I can tell her straight away, we'll go over it. You know, I'll say, oh, it means this, it means that. So get them into the habit of actually stopping when they read, stop and find the meaning to their word, because they just seem to gloss over it because, you know, no, let them go and find the meaning. Now, Google is actually very good. Your child can actually go about this without a dictionary. Google is actually good because it tells them how they use those words in sentences. It gives them example, because sometimes the kids know big words, but the way they use it in their sentence structure, it's not quite the right way. So when they see it, when they search it up on Google, it actually tells them how to use it in sentences. It gives them examples. Encourage them to use any new words they find in their speaking and writing task that week. So any new words we find, We use it in our speaking that week. We use it. She uses it in her writing as well. She tries and incorporate it into her writing. Oh, so you learn that new word, so now you can use it when you speak about something, okay? So maybe instead of saying that you are tired, you can use the word lethargic, you know? So encouraging them to use those new words they found, because that's the way it's going to stick and that's the way they're going to remember it. All children are different. The fact that your firstborn was willing to work independently, took responsibility of their own learning, doesn't mean your second or third child is going to follow the same. So you need to be practical about these things, and you need to be flexible and to understand that children all learn in different ways and different forms, and you need to be able to support that and not necessarily say, well, when your brother was at your age, he already knew blah, 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 blah. Well, that's my brother. That's not me, is it? So all children are different. Because sometimes our firstborn, sometimes maybe they're very academic. You know, we set the barrier high, we set the standards high, and we think every other single child will follow. Not always the case, okay? So you've got to adjust to how each child learns, how they study. To whom much is given, much is expected. Have high expectations. You have high expectations, then they will try and rise up to it, okay? Not unrealistic expectations, but don't just, you know, settle for the bare minimum. Why should you? You know, if expect more from them, expect high things, expect good things from your children. Get them buzzing about it, you know, get them excited about it. Find ways to get them excited about it, so it's not just the boring. I'll leave that to you, because it's all different. Because you can find ways of getting them involved in this, rather than, oh, you've got to do 11 plus exam and that's it, and you've got to do it. Don't ever let anyone make you feel guilty for wanting the best for your child. Why should you? What? Because you want the best for your child, you should feel. And quite a lot of that happens. Sometimes they say you're a pushy parent because you want your child to write the 11 plus exam, or because you want your child to go to grammar school. Don't ever. You know your child more than anybody else, okay? So, and you want the best for your child. So don't ever let anyone make you feel otherwise, okay? Why should they? Because they decided not for their child to do it. Good on them. No one's judging them for that. So if they don't want their child to be put through the exam, that's fine and that's okay. But no one should ever make you feel less of a parent because you're putting your child through the 11 plus exam. Be careful not to overload your child, especially now that they are being homeschooled during the virtual learning. Again, this all stems down to, if you started earlier, if you start early, there'll be no need for pressure. It would just be a regular routine, something you've instilled right from the beginning. There'll be no need to overload. You know, you can spread all their work out, but be careful right now because of the virtual learning. What we found out is kids are now doing even more than they were doing in school, or teachers are setting a lot more work than it's actually possible for the child to finish. I know a parent who said to me, my child is working up till 7 p.m. every night from the work the school is set. So for some of us now, you know, who our child is preparing for 11 plus, they still have their 11 plus practice to do even after the school. So be very, very careful. There's a very thin line because, you know, they're being overloaded at school with work to do. And then there's the 11 plus side of things that you want them to do as well. Prioritize and, you know, decide on what is important to do. I don't know why that is repeating itself. Okay, that's my bad PowerPoint skills. Sorry, guys. Let's move on. Right, let me just check in the comment section. Can you let me know if you're finding this useful? Let me know if you find this useful. Oh yes, Sheena, I've seen this before as well, where you've said you write down 5 words a day 5 a day. So we wrote 5 words down a day, and you take it from the CGP book, and then you take them everywhere, okay? And use those. I like that. I like that. Yeah. Sheena's just dropped a comment about using, getting 5 words a day and using it everywhere, you know. And they take, I'm guessing, Sheena, you take the book everywhere. That's good. So can you let me know if you're following? Let me know if you're here. There's definitely a big lag between Zoom and Facebook, because I'm not seeing any of your comments just yet. Right, good habits for 11 plus prep, still carrying on. If you hire a tutor, don't leave everything for the tutor. So most parents think because they've hired a tutor, then they leave everything for them, for the tutor to do. So I had a medical doctor ring me up, and he said, I want you to tutor my child. And I said, yeah, I'm happy to. And he said, listen, the reason I'm hiring you is because I don't have any time to do it, and I want you to do everything. And I said to him, I'm sorry, I won't be able to do that, because I'm going to send to your child some homework that sometimes it might need you to get involved with it. I'm sorry, it needs, you know, this needs to be something that hand in hand we do together. So it takes a village of, this is actually an African adage. It takes a whole village to raise a child. So in Africa, it's not just down to the parent to raise the child, the aunties, the uncles, everyone involved, you know, the teacher, we all try and bring up these children together. Right, so moving on, group tuition. Sometimes parents think, you know, it won't work because there's other children. Not necessarily. Group tuition, a good group tuition will promote healthy competition. It would actually help your child to see other children who are doing well, and they will want to do well as well. You know, they're in this winning environment. They're winning environment where everyone's doing well, and not necessarily, and they also will see others who are struggling as well. Or sometimes a child does well one week, but the other week, you know, they're down there, and they can pull each other up together, and they can learn together, and they can work together. Prepare them with an open mind. I did an ebook on this. If you want a copy of the ebook, just send me a direct DM about preparing your child for 11 plus with an open mind, because if they don't pass, what you don't want is your child being you don't want the experience to be a traumatic experience for your child. You don't want them to feel any less of themselves. You don't want it to affect their confidence in any way if they don't pass. So there are so many strategies that you can use along the line whilst they're preparing for the 11 plus, so that the child understands that this is not a do or die affair, and if they don't pass, these are the options of schools that they can go to, which are very good schools as well. So right from the beginning, you can let them know that. Go for open mornings or evenings for the school that the school they will go if they don't pass the 11 plus. So yes, so as well as you want to go for this open evenings and mornings for the grammar school that you want them to go to, find 1 or 2 comprehensive schools that you wouldn't mind them going to if they don't pass their exam, and showcase that school in the same light, so that if they don't pass the 11 plus exam, it doesn't feel like, well, they've just been chucked in one school, you know. So they still feel like, well, this was one of my choices as well, you know. Get a tutor if you can afford it. Learning with mom is a totally different ball game from learning with a teacher. I'm a teacher, and it's a struggle to teach my own daughter, because that relationship is there. Your mom, you're not teacher. So one parent was saying to me, I was repeating myself over and over again, and I'm thinking, how can you not understand that? And I'm thinking, your child's probably not even listening to you, because it's thinking, your mom, his brain is telling me, your mom, you're not my teacher, your mom. So yes, you can still help your child through the process without a tutor, but if you can afford it, if you can have the time, get a tutor, so they have that time where they're doing it with someone who already has a structure in place, and they're doing it from someone who's not mum. You know, they tend to take the work more seriously when they're with their teacher rather than when they're with their parent. And that's why a lot of parents are struggling right now with homeschooling, because it's a totally different dynamics when they're with their parents at home to when they're with a teacher or a tutor. Don't compare your child with any other child, including their siblings. Every child is just unique. Every child is different. Every child is, you know, amazing. So don't ever compare. Some children take longer to process information. That doesn't make them any less intelligent. It's just their way of learning. Even if your child does not pass this, the preparation will have a great impact on their school learning. So them passing or them failing is not the end of the world. Even if they don't pass, it would still have a massive, massive positive effect on their general school learning. Go over corrections. So whatever work you do with your child, go over the corrections, the ones they got wrong. Otherwise, they are going to encounter a similar question again in the exam. And because you didn't take time to go over it, they're still going to see it in another paper, on another practice paper, on the actual exam. I'm almost there, guys. And I hope I'm not rushing. All right, let me check in the comment section now. Hope I'm not rushing, but I just don't want it to be too much of a long, you know, long presentation. No child is dumb. I'm so passionate about this. No child is dumb. No child is incapable of doing well. Not one child. Not one. And when I say not one, I've worked with children from different backgrounds, different learning needs, children with special needs. You know, it's just that, you know, every child, what I would say is, for some children, them reaching this much is actually a big success. You know, that's a big thing for them. And if they're able to reach that much, you know, and for some children it's high up there. So every single child can be successful, every single child can learn, every single child can is teachable, but every single child's situation is different. But when they're put in a good environment, you'll be surprised at how much they can achieve. You know, I never say, oh, that child, don't even try it. That child can't do it. That child, impossible. Never, ever say that. Children have a good way of surprising us. You know, they have a good way. I see them and I marvel. You know, this is why I enjoy working with children. They're so dynamic. They're so dynamic. Sometimes they just need someone to believe in them. Sometimes they just need to be given the right support to thrive. Reward your child for their hard work, not success. I hope you read that right. Reward them for hard work, not success. So not that, I hope you understand what I mean. So it's not, don't reward them because they passed 11 plus. Reward them because of the effort they put into their work. And the results could be that they passed or they might not have passed, but reward them for hard work. You know, that would really help them and build good work ethics for them. Here's another one. No TV or gaming during the week if possible. What I found out and I really noticed with children is too much TV makes their brain lag, and too much gaming. They're not even conscious of where they're at. They don't even know what they're doing. Sometimes they're so carried away. They can't even, you know. So you need to limit that. It could be something, and I'm saying this, you know, but you don't necessarily have to, like I said, there are things that you would take from this training and there are things that you go, that won't work for us. that probably would not work for us, but that will work for us. But the gaming, the TV, it takes a lot. And sometimes as well, it impacts on their behavior, you know, the way they act, their behavior. Just, you know, you just check it out yourself and you decide what's good for you. Insist they have their breakfast before starting work and keep them hydrated. Or if they were to start their work in the afternoon, make sure they have something in their belly that would make them concentrate. But if they start the work not, you know, not having had something, then in 10 minutes they probably want a snack. But when they're full and then they start work, they're more likely to concentrate. I remember my years as a teacher. In my classroom, I've had kids would say to me, I'm hungry. There's, you know, and this is for me, there's no way I can teach a hungry child. If a child is hungry, I can't teach them. It's pointless. So I always have snacks in my bags for the kids. And some of them, when I don't have anything in my bag, I actually give them money to go and buy something. The policy is children shouldn't be eating in the classroom. This was obviously before COVID. I don't care. I literally give them, I go and sit that corner, eat your food, and then join us back in the lesson. There's no way you can teach a hungry child. It's impossible. Don't try it. Sign up your child for 2 or 3 mock exams. It's always an eye opener. And spread it out. Try not do any mock exam before a month or 2 before the exam. That will just literally confuse them. So spread it out very well, but try and do 2 or 3 mock exams. 2 is enough, but if you can, do 3. Here's one. If they don't know all of their times table and they're not able to recall it quickly, that's going to slow them down in the exam. So your child will need to learn all of their times table. Okay, so get working on this. On my personal profile, I did lots and lots of videos on good ways that you can teach your child times table easily. And I'm doing a training again because I've updated that the techniques. So I'm doing a training next Monday on how to teach your child times table. Practice quick fire mental maths questions. You know, just give them questions where they can do mentally and really quickly. Make sure they are well-balanced individuals. Ensure they still carry on with other extracurricular activities where they can, especially in this lockdown. Yeah, a lot of the extracurricular activities have moved online. Let them carry on where they can. It's not just about preparing for 11 plus. Make sure they're very, very well-balanced individual. So I'll put the rest on the screen. Research the school your child is going to, because yeah, basically you need to know what school your child is going to, and that's a totally different training entirely. And I did a training on this. If you would like to watch a replay of this training, send me a DM. Involve your child in the 11 plus process, in the journey. Give them good options to decide from. I was talking to Saba about this the other day. You can give your child good options to decide from. So you navigate them. Yeah, that's the word. You navigate them so that they are going towards an area where they can pick one of the good options. Be very careful when you throw, you know, don't just throw out all the bad and the good options and then watch them and then say, oh yeah, you just picked. You know, get all the good options together and then let them pick from it. Expect meltdowns sometimes. You know, this is life. You know, just start again the following day. Take every day as a new day, start brand new. Sometimes they're just going to have meltdowns. You know, we get this as mums and dads all the time. Get familiar with the admissions policy of the school you want your child to go to. There's no point trying to get your child into a school that doesn't accept children from your area. All right. because some schools accept students within a certain mile radius, but you haven't even done the due diligence, you haven't checked their admissions criteria. So make sure you're not working blindly. Don't neglect creative writing tasks. For some local authorities, creative writing carries as much as 40% of the whole exam. So, and for some area, you don't really need creative writing. So make sure you do a research to find out if creative writing is going to be important for your child. Do speed checks for the exam question. So just give them one question and then put the timer on. Just one question and go, you got certain time to finish this question. And then, you know, that would really help them speed up their questions, because the 11 plus exam is really, really time limited. You know, it's time, yeah. So they have to be conscious of time. The general rule is 1 minute for maths and English and 30 seconds for verbal and non-verbal reasoning. Use a timer. Yeah, so that's everything that I remembered and I put down. Obviously, there's probably going to be more, but thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining me. I've put down there my email. I've also put down, what else have I put down? I've put down in the link within the post of the live video, I've put down my link if you wanted to book a call and speak with me. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this session has been useful. Can you do me a favor? Can you drop in the comment section what you found useful, what you're probably going to take away and use, probably what you already do, and then you are getting some sort of affirmation about. So put it in the comment section. Let us know. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I'm going to go now and have some jollof rice and some jerk chicken. If you're not aware of jollof rice, you know, that's another training entirely. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, and see you later. Oh, do we have any questions, Saba? I'm guessing you've answered questions in the chat. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.